Hello guys, and welcome to the 14th lesson in this series. And today we'll be creating our first GUI program. And as mentioned in the previous video, we will be creating a simple GUI program, very simple, um, without any icons, any decorations. Yeah, it's pretty simple. So what this will be is basically a pop-up alert. So we'll set a time that we want the alert to pop up, and we'll also set a message that we would also want to be shown when it's popped up. So we'll go step by step through this so you can pretty much see how a GUI program is set up. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna want to do here is to import the sys module. And basically, if I didn't explain it before, the sys module allows us to get basically system specific information. So in our case though, we'll be getting the command line arguments from the sys module. I will show that in a couple or in a few. All right. So the next thing that would want to import is the time, since we'll be using this in our program. And then we're going to want to import our PyQt5 modules. So what we're going to do now, and you won't normally do this for your later programs or your professional programs, but we're gonna just include a wide variety of PyQt5 modules. So we'll say from PyQt5 import, well, from PyQt5 dot core import all. So as I say, you won't normally do this for your bigger programs, but just for now and just to get just to familiarize ourselves with the whole syntax, we'll do this right now. All right. So we'll do the same thing, but we'll include the Qt widget stuff. All right, and we'll port all. All right. So for every PyQt GUI application, you need something called a Q application object. And this basically let us access global stuff like the application directory and the screen size and so forth. So we'll basically put this in a variable and we'll call it app. And this will be a Q application. And inside the parentheses, this is where we're going to get the command line arguments. And this is done by using the sys module and using the .argv. All right. So good so far. Now it's time to actually write the logics of our program. All right. So the first thing, as you know, would need is the time when we'd want to set the alert off. So we'll call this due, and we're going to basically take an input from the user. So we'll say enter time for alert. Okay. And we'll tell them the format that we want it, because we're only going to take the 24-hour format. So that is basically, we're going to say we want it, and we'll give an example. And if you prefer, you can just write something like hour, minute, whichever one you prefer. All right. And there we go. The next thing that would want is the message that we want to pop up, and this basically be another input, and it will be like enter message for alert. Okay, and then we would say we're going to do our logics now, where we say we're going to do a try block. So we're going to try, and we're going to have our hours and our minutes, and we're going to split. So whatever the user enter for their time, we're going to split it. So we're going to split the first half to hours and the second half to minutes. So we do this by saying do and dot split, and we're going to split it with the colon. So wherever the colon is, we're going to split it right there. Okay, and then the new do would equal a QTime. So this is another PyQt. It's another PyQt function or method, and we'll say we'll take the int for the hours and the integer for the minutes. And we're going to check if the time is actually valid. So we say if not due dot is valid. So basically, if the user say enter something like 36 colon 00, then you know that 36 is not a valid time, since it's over 24 and there are only 24 hours in a day. So that will trigger this, and if it's actually, so if it's not valid, then we'll raise a value error. All right, and then we'd have our except suite, and as a matter of fact, except value error, yeah, since that's what we're capturing, and we'll assign it to a message, and we'll say something like time entered is not a valid time. Okay, perfect. And then we will say while qt dot time, wait, no, while QTime dot current time. So this will check what time it is. So current time is basically this local system time. All right. So while that time is less than due, then what we'll do is use the sleep method that Python has, and we'll say we'll sleep it for 20 seconds. So why are we doing this? Is that while the current time is less than due, this would just keep running. So if we should say put a pass here, then this would run at the speed of basically your processor. So it would just eat up unnecessary resources. So what we'll do is sleep for 20 seconds. So the program actually does not nothing, and your other program on your system can actually use up those resources because it's not necessary right here. All right. So that's basically all that does. And then now we're gonna actually write the code to put something on your screen. So we're gonna say label equal QLabel, and QLabel accepts HTML tags. So if you know HTML, then you would pretty much get used to using your HTML tags here to, you know, display how you want stuff set up, just like you would on the browser. So for example, let's just do something simple. Let's just color the font red. and just make the size 72. Let's make it bold. And let's add the message. Let's close our tags. All right. Okay, so the next thing we'd want to do is to ensure that this pop-up doesn't show any Windows like formatting. So it won't have like the bars, like the exit bars and so forth, no toolbar, nothing at all. So we basically give it the feature as a splash screen. You know, a splash screen is just that screen that pops up with nothing else attached to it, right? So what we're going to do is say set window flags, and we're going to set it to Qt splash screen. There. And after that, we're just going to show the window. So this basically sends a, what do you call, a paint command or a paint event to tell Windows that to paint this window or this program that we have here, right? And next thing we're gonna do is to use a QTimer and actually have this window up for, we can say 30 seconds or a minute. All right, let's put it for a minute, and we'll say single shot. And because this is in milliseconds, we'll type in 60,000, yeah, and that should give us 60 seconds, which is a minute. And after that minute, we want the app to quit. So we'll say app. I remember that we define app as our application here, and we'll say quit. And after that, we would have our sys.exit, and this is basically what we use to safely exit our program. And we'll have the app dot, basically the app that executes. So this is the loop. This is the loop event for the app. So while this is in loop, then this won't be called until this is stopped. So once this is stopped and it sends it exit, what you call a exit, let's see, like a exit code. So as you know, 0 means we exit okay, and then anything else we have some type of error. All right. So this is basically the app right now, and if we should run this, let's see, if we should run this, this should be quite okay. Let's see, we have something here. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and run it. Ask us to enter a time. Just to test it, we're gonna enter a time that already passed. So it's now 9:48, and that would be what, 21, if I'm right? Yeah, 21:48. So let's put in something like 21:45, and the message would be alert. And if we run that and we check outside, then you should see that, oh, it's tiny, very tiny. Let's increase the font size. So let's stop this. Let's see. Stop. And okay, we didn't put in our equal, that's why. So we never say size equals 72. Okay, so if we should go ahead and run this again, and we put in that time again, so 21, say 45, and message is alert, and we run this, then you should see that the alert actually pops up. So that's just, as I say, it was a very simple GUI program, very, very simple. Um, but nonetheless, it's a GUI program, and we actually went through the basics of implementing a GUI program. We can play with it and add something like a sound when it pops up. For this, you may need to install the PlaceOn module. So again, you can go to your command prompt and type in pip install PlaceOn. Okay, and uh, install install PlaceOn. And once you do that, this would allow us to basically play MP3 or so forth formats in Python. So what we'll do is say import, we say PlaceOn, import PlaceOn as, let's see, or from, sorry, from PlaceOn, import PlaceOn. Okay, and then when our program pops up, we actually want to play like an alarm sound. So we'll say let's see, play sound, and we actually have a file in our directory called alarm, and it's an MP3, so it's okay, it's alarm.mp3. Okay, and I'll link you to the site where you can actually download this for free. So check the description for that link, and actually the program also would be linked in the description. So if you're having any problem, you can download this and see where you went wrong. Then you can also play around with it if you like, add more logics to it, and so forth. So let's see if we can play our sound on this program. So 25 and alert. And this might be loud, so just be aware. So let's play that. Oh shoot, we did something wrong. Okay. Alright, so press enter. And there you go, we have our sound. So that's a pretty neat feature to have. As I say, there's a lot more you can do, but you don't have to go a lot into this, but you can still play around with certain stuff that we learned today, and even stuff that we learned in the previous lessons. So this again is a very, very, very basic GUI. It's just actually getting us started with the whole world of GUI programming. So the next couple programs we'll be creating would actually have a dialog and a window. So I look forward to seeing you in the next videos. Alright, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you. Bye.